Yeah. Yes. Here we go. I'm just going to read the Twitter or the X headline here because the article's not going to say much more than this. But Furiosa, a Mad Max saga, is coming to Max on August 16th after earning $172 million at the worldwide box office this summer. I think there's two things of note here. One is it's coming to Max pretty soon in a week, I believe. And the other is the fact that it only earned $172 million, even though I think critics generally agree it was a not bad movie.
Yeah, I think, I mean, we gave it a positive review. Even Gary from Nerdrotic gave it a positive, but it failed to connect. I think people want a Mad Max movie with Mad Max in it. And that has been the big complaint about this film. And I would argue that Anya Taylor-Joy did a much better version of this character than what's her name? I'm having a
Charlize Theron.
Exactly, Charlize Theron.
Yeah.
I think she was better, but I think the bloated running time, the fact that she's a young Furiosa for the first 40 minutes of the movie was a huge mistake, and that hurt it. But let's look at that number. Let's look at that number carefully. That's less than the Marvels. Marvels got very close to 200.
Mm-hmm.
That is less. That is really, I feel like it's important if you work in Hollywood to make decisions based on data. Sure, you can say with your gut, I think this will be amazing. Alan Ladd famously believed in George Lucas and said, I don't know, I liked American Graffiti. I like this George Lucas guy. I'm going to bet on Star Wars with a $10 million budget, which they shot in 1976. So go with your gut, but you got to go with data, right? And the movies that aren't landing, maybe ignore those and make more of the things that have been a success this year. Like I said, they need to pivot that line oft repeated in boardrooms. Male and pale is stale. Wrong. Male and pale can't fail. Deadpool and Wolverine. Male and pale is money. Dune Part 2. Like, I do think that if you look at the top box office for the year, we have seen some amazing successes just going for traditional things that people like. Seriously. So,
well, I mean, I think this begs the question. If you're making a movie that needs to be a $750 to $1 billion at the box office, can you bank on a female protagonist, on a female lead, a female action lead? Let's put it that way. I mean, Barbie succeeded. Barbie made $1 billion, but Barbie wasn't an action star.
No,
it wasn't an action movie. It wasn't a movie where the majority of the film of the audience is going to come from men. Look, you can call me misogynistic or not. I'm just kind of going over the facts here. I think people will see Barbie, but they won't see Furiosa with the same vigor and vim.
But Barbie knew its audience.
Mm-hmm.
The Barbie audience was young women and every girl who ever was, affected by, this doll, which many women have been affected by. It brings back member berries, right? I don't begrudge Barbie's success at all. It knew the market, and they made a movie to service that market. Same thing as Oppenheimer really was. I'll start with this. It's the older crowd that likes a serious adult movie. And then people got caught up in the Barbenheimer. Let me share right here. This is from the Rotten Tomatoes website. Top box office for 2024. Let's look at, this is so far, right?
Right.
So let's take a look at this. You've got Inside Out, number one at 626. They're doing domestic numbers.
Right.
Number two, Deadpool and Wolverine, 3, Despicable Me 4, 4, Dune Part 2, 5, Godzilla X Kong, 6, Twisters, 7, Kung Fu Panda, 8, Bad Boys Ride or Die, 9, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, and 10, A Quiet Place Day 1, which I think surprised us all. These are all like solid summer movies, you know. I like some more than others, whatever, but these are blockbuster, you know, audience pleasing films that performed well. Do you see any agenda driven films or lecturing blockbusters? No, zero. In fact, Twisters, I admire the director coming out and saying, we're not doing a climate change message. It's a disaster movie. It's fun. So I'm glad that what's performing is, I think, I didn't love all these movies, but I think that it's deserved.
Yeah, it was all of them knew their audience and decided that they wanted to give their audience a good time. You know, Inside Out 2, it could have easily had the message thrown in there, easily, and it didn't, and it still is the #1 box office hit of the summer, and people would say it is definitely not as good as the first one, but it is definitely outperforming the first one.
Well, and Deadpool and Wolverine isn't even done, and either is Inside Out 2 is still in theaters, by the way. So these films will continue to perform, and world box office, D&W, that's not what people are calling it. DP and Wolverine. Okay, that sounds bad. Deadpool and Wolverine is definitely crossing $1 billion. Is it going to do it this weekend? We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Well, the Olympics.
Look, dude, I was in the big IMAX screen last night for Borderlands. It was nearly empty.
Yeah.
So Borderlands opening night, IMAX, they kicked Deadpool and Wolverine out of that screen, which is the biggest screen they have there, and put it somewhere else. And Borderlands was empty. We'll talk about that.
My theater didn't put Borderlands in the IMAX screen. They kept it at Deadpool and Wolverine.
Well, they were smart.
Yeah.
So